Okay, this video is not clickbait. I'm not going to mislead you with a bunch of fake numbers or misleading info that gets you to buy my 10-week course on personal development. I'm going to talk directly about the mobile apps that I've made over the last few years, the actual dollar amount that I've earned, and the different ways that I've monetized these apps to earn me a pretty decent side income. If you watch the end of this video, I'll also throw in some tips on how to create your own revenue generating mobile apps based on the things that worked for me. I only want to ask 3 things from you. 1 is to press that little like button on the bottom right corner, as that does a lot for this video and my channel. 2, subscribe if you're new and you like this type of content. 3, my friend J Prime, who provides most of the music for my channel, just dropped his new EP. So if you're interested in down-tempo, lo-fi music, hey, Every Day is Sunday, that's the name of it. It's out on all streaming platforms. So after this video, why don't you give it a listen? Now, let's get to the actual video. So if you're familiar with my content on YouTube, I like programming, but not like in class or for school or anything, because my grades are terrible. More so in my free time, I like coding up some personal projects for fun. Ever since I learned about iOS app development in 2014, I became super interested in the prospects of creating my own mobile app. But you know, my dream of creating the next Flappy Bird or Fruit Ninja turned out to be way harder in reality than I ever could have thought. Creating mobile apps, especially by yourself, can be one of the hardest things to do, especially if you want to make the app actually good and usable. And I've made a bunch of apps and most of them were trash. I mean, well, trash in the sense that they all had some serious flaw that I had to improve on for the next time. Since the focus of this video is on my app revenue, I'm not going to go too into detail of my app development journey, but if people are interested, I'm more than happy to do a video about that in the future. Let's get into the money now. So of all the apps that I have, only 2 of them have generated me actual income. With mobile apps, you can either make them available for free or charge users a certain price to install them. And in my opinion, a paid app in 2019 is almost impossible to sell to people because of how saturated the app store is nowadays. Therefore, all of my apps are free to install, so I don't earn money by charging people directly for installing them. Instead, I monetize with 2 main ways: ads and in-app purchases. So without a doubt, whenever you're watching a video on YouTube or playing some game on your phone and an ad comes up, it can get pretty annoying and can disrupt your experience. But this is how a bunch of free services can, well, stay free. And when you, the creator of the app, need to pay for servers or storage space on AWS, those costs are going to pile up pretty quick, and you need to find some way to make some of that money back eventually. So before I continue talking, I'm going to pull up my Google Admob dashboard so you can see just for yourself how my apps have been doing. Google Admob is a mobile ads network that integrates with your mobile app and allows you to serve ads from their platform directly into your app. So these last few months have been amazing for my revenue growth, despite not being able to work on my apps as much because of YouTube and college and all that. I used to be super hype about earning $2, $5, $10 a month off of my apps. Even though that's still great to see, you can just see in the last month I made a little over $60, which is incredible. I'm super grateful for this and even more happy about the fact that this is a steady source of passive income. That means I can eat, sleep, fail an exam, forget I even make apps, and then wake up to see that I've earned almost $4 in the last day. Of course, once I have the free time, the goal here is to keep making even better apps and improve the ones that I already have, because I do want to see this revenue number keep going up. So I can go more into the rest of this dashboard you see here. This toggle here allows me to change the time period that I'm looking at. I can use this to compare my current performance day by day versus week by week. The estimated earnings value is the amount that I'm scheduled to earn in that time period. And the other important value here is impressions. This is the actual number of ads that's shown to users across all of my apps, and each single impression is worth an actual dollar value. And what's that value? That would be the eCPM, which stands for estimated cost per 1,000 impressions. This number here says I'll be getting paid $23 for every 1,000 impressions. You'll want to note that these numbers are estimated, and this number can fluctuate based on which ads are being served and what type of ads that you're serving on your apps. It can be banner ads that people just look at, video ads that people have to watch, reward ads that you get like in a video game if you want extra lives. All of these things can change this value. There's lots of extra items on this page, but those values I just mentioned, estimated earnings, impressions, and eCPM, are the main things that I look at when I want to see how my ads are doing. If you're still watching up to this point, I'm glad to see you made it here. If you haven't clicked that like button yet, doing so now is still possible. I'll wait. Sponsored by, just kidding. Okay, so the second way that I monetize my apps is with in-app purchases. This is a much smaller revenue source compared to ads, but I think it's mainly because the in-app items that I currently have for sale aren't things that too many people want. Here, I'm showing the screen from my iTunes Connect dashboard, which has information relevant to my app installs and my sales in the iOS App Store. I'm actually surprised to see this much over the last few days, as this amounts to 4 purchases of an in-app purchase item that I had that cost 99 cents per unit, so it's $3.96. But that's not how much actually comes to me, since Apple takes 30% of all in-app sales. Here you can see I've actually made $2.80, and if you expand the time period to over the last 26 weeks, you'll see here that I've made $8.40 from in-app purchases, which is pretty good, honestly. Again, here, the goal is to improve my strategy for in-app purchases and make items that people actually want, because I want to see this number go up as well. We're almost done here, but I don't want to leave the video off without giving you actual concrete advice about how to make side income from a mobile app. There's not enough videos on YouTube that show you this type of information without trying to promote some get-rich-quick course or just mislead you in the wrong direction without actually helping you figure out how do I make a decent side income from mobile apps. I'm not interested in self-promoting. I don't have an online business to shove down your throat, and I'm not interested in giving my mobile apps more exposure since they're bad. I do want to make available the kind of info that I wish I had when I was just starting out, and I wanted to turn a hobby into something that also gave me money. Now, here's 3 main tips for creating your own money-making app. So the first thing you'll need, obviously, is a mobile app. You'll need to decide how this app is going to get made. Are you going to build it? Are you going to build it with a team of other developers? Or are you going to hire someone else to build it? There are benefits and negatives to each approach that I won't get into here. But once you figure out the strategy for building your application, you need to figure out what you want to build. For me, I just looked at the apps that I spent the most time on, and I tried to figure out what about each app made me want to keep using it, because that's the key here. If you want to make money with a mobile app, you'll need to create something that keeps people coming back often to use it. It doesn't need to be a super spectacular app like a Uber or Lyft or some unique game like Fruit Ninja. It can be a super simple idea that accomplishes one thing but does it really, really well. One of my favorite apps is Pro Metronome, a metronome app that I use when I want to practice the drums. When you think about a metronome, it's something that's not that complicated to create, but you can see with musicians it's essential when you want to practice on your own. So here, this is an app that is pretty simple, but you have the potential audience of millions. That's just one example, but of course there's many others that you can think of. And lastly, straight up, just don't make a paid app and rely on promotion to bring your users in initially. I just think that most people in 2019 aren't used to paying for online content that isn't a Netflix subscription. If you're going to hope for people to use your mobile app, don't expect to earn money from it right away. Instant gratification is something you're going to need to unlearn, because you're going to go through weeks, months, possibly years of being in a heavy negative. When I first started out, I was at a super heavy loss because I mentioned most of my apps were trash and I was not earning money at all from them. And even when I actually created apps that gave me income, I was literally earning pennies for about 6 months. I'm still not even sure if I'm back in the overall green yet, even though I've had multiple $50 profit months. You need to do what you can to encourage people to start using your app, and work on promoting your app in any way that you can. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, even your own personal website, any place you can. You need to bring people in initially for free, and then once you have the audience, a large audience, you can monetize them in any way you see fit and works best for you, whether that's with ads, in-app purchases, subscriptions. The monetization strategies are endless. Once you get that audience, it's really at your fingertips. And if you follow all these steps, you'll soon see those dollars in your bank account. Trust me. Okay, that's the end of this video. This was a lot longer than I intended, this video to be, but it seems to be the case with most of my videos lately, so I'm probably going to be up all night editing this. If you have any ideas or questions or anything about the points that I brought up, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to respond. Thanks for watching. Peace.